Hello, 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 hello. I hope you guys are doing good out there in the YouTube streets. I think that sounds good. I'm gonna get started. Oh, child. What a music. What y'all doing out there tonight? I have to check my audio because I made a big mistake a while back when I was doing a YouTube live streaming. Uh, I was streaming live and the mute button was on. And stuff. And I think this is too loud. Let's see. I'm up for what? If this music sounds too loud, just let me know. Okay, chat? Yeah, yeah. So, greetings to you all. All right, so tonight, oh, I want to give a big shout out to Charlie Shaw. She's my day one. The last live stream I did not see her comment. Sorry about that, Charlie. I told you I don't be always looking at the chat when I'm babbling, hun. But shout out to Charlie Shaw. She's my day one. Uh, a supporter for real. One person in the chat, she there. Where you been? What you doing? Keep coming. So thank you for your support, Charlie. I appreciate you. And I didn't mean to ignore your comment. I didn't see it. So let's get into the stream tonight. Tonight I won't be banging too hard on the Africans because I bang, but I take a break from banging. You know what I mean? How you get tired of banging after a while, you be like, look, I'm tired of you. You don't make sense. Be gone. No sense. All right. So I want to talk deeper tonight about as you if you read the description of the live stream tonight, it's about visionaries. FBA people, leaders, we are true visionaries. We are. I said we because I know I'm one too. Um, in spite of all the struggles that our people went through, oh my gosh, let me turn this down. It's too loud for me, if not for you. In spite of all the troubles that our people went through in this country, still going through, we still have hopes of a brighter future for us and our children. Our mind may not be set on our children, like their future, because we're busy surviving this stuff, but we still have hope in the back of our mind and our heart. We still have hope that they're going to be fine. My descendants are going to be fine. Our people are such a strong people. When Martin Luther King was asked, why do he do what he do? Why do he risk his life and so forth to better his people's condition in this country? And Martin Luther King, he answered with a touching answer, and he said, I do it for my children and their children and your children. See, that makes me think about what's his name? Mandela. Mandela was going hard for his people. He went hard. Him and his wife, Winnie, the first wife. And they captured him, locked him up for a very, very long time, to the point where he was forgotten about by his people. He was forgotten about. At some point, they would allow him to come off the island when they had him locked up. They would allow Mandela to come off the island and go amongst the general population of his own people, but a new generation of people. A lot of the people could not recognize him when he would go among them. This is, they forgot about him. A man that was a freedom fighter, a hard fighter for his people. They completely forgot about Mandela. And I know that was hurting for him. It was a hurtful thing to see and experience. This man put his life on the line, hard for his people, for his tribe, and they just forgot about him. He would walk among his own people and nobody would recognize him. See, that is what the Caucasians here in America don't like about foundational Black Americans. They don't like the fact that we keep our ancestry, how can I put it? They don't like that we keep our ancestors' struggle known to the world. The world knows who Martin Luther King is, Harriet Tubman, and all of our leaders that put their lives on the line to better our tribe of people in this country. Everybody know who they are. There's books galore written of them, stories passed down about them. We remember them and we make sure everybody knows what happened. They didn't do that for Mandela. They just completely forgot about Mandela. I mean, again, they started letting him come off the island because they imprisoned him on the island for almost 30 years. They started bringing him to the general population where his people was, to his tribal area, and allowing him to walk around the market and stuff like that and shop and all of that. And these people didn't recognize him, but he put his life on the line for these people. They didn't recognize him, their fellow brother. That's not how FBA moves. We pay homage to our ancestor leaders, those who put their lives on the line for us and our children. We pay homage to them. So that's something the Caucasians don't like about foundational Black Americans. They tell us if you just be quiet with the slavery stuff and come on, get on board with us. We're going to take these shackles off your hands and feet. And all you got to do is stand in agreement with us. And we said, no, we're not gonna forget about what you did to our ancestors. We're gonna tell the world every day what you did until you rectify the situation, which you haven't even begun to do. You don't want to do it, you're not going to do it, and there's reasons behind why you're not going to do it for these particular people because everybody else that you destroyed around the world, you decided to pay restitution to them, rectify the situation, make it better, put a band-aid on it, but not for foundational Black Americans because they're a special kind. And if we give them reparations and let them tend to themselves away from us, we know what's going to happen. They are true listen, they know who we are more than we know who we are. They've seen us segregated with their own eyes and they've seen how we grow and come up. They know of all the inventions that this country used every day that was invented by us. I think yesterday I forgot to tell you guys the fork or the spoon. One of them was created by a Black person. I think it was the fork. All this stuff we use in this country every day. 95% of it invented by. Did I tell you guys that it was Black people that invented the ox with the little thing that uh tilled the ground and all they had to do was drop the seeds in and the slaves had made it easier to form and to pick cotton and to grow cotton. They made it easier. Yeah, a lot of them were inventors of machinery that was used to pick cotton and stretch it out and all that, that they did not have to use slave forces anymore to uh, grow and produce cotton or food. A lot of the a lot of the inventions for farming was invented by the slaves. I say before on the last live stream, when you talk about American culture, you speak about Black American culture. Everybody complaining about white people's food, how bland it is. And they begin to learn how to cook from us, how to season their food properly from us. They begin to learn how to go pick certain spices and learn how to season their food properly from us. But at first, nobody messed with their food because it was just straight up bland. We were their chefs for a very long time. Even after slavery, they hired Black people continuously to cook for them in their guests, in their households. Do you guys know that it was Black women that was styling white women? For a very long time, they would, the domestic worker, a Black woman, would help the woman of the house to style herself. So, see, when you speak of American culture, you speak of Black culture because our hand is in this country, on it's printed on this country more so than a white person's. the Caucasians. Okay. I once heard a comedian, he was a white guy. He said, man, black people are good at everything. Everything. So I don't understand why they stayed in slavery. They didn't escape. Talking about we good at everything but escaping. That was supposed to be a joke, which I didn't find funny, of course. But I mean, to answer the question, he's a dingbat because if he had common sense, he would have known that the natives who they enslaved first, the indigenous Americans who they enslaved first, they knew the land very well. They were able to escape continuously. The Africans who they brought here did not know the land very well. And the children they bore did not know the land very well either. That's why many didn't escape. But understand, indeed, many did more than the ones that didn't try to escape. Many of them tried to escape. Okay? They were captured and brought back and stuff like that. Some of them escaped and died somewhere, probably of starvation. Nobody just stayed there and just happily thought. Many of them risked their lives trying to escape. You're foolish if you think many of them didn't try to escape. That makes you a foolish thinker. So, another thing is to understand that people knew that their slaves was going to try to escape, and that was their moneymaker. So, they guarded their slaves heavily. Why would you think that they're going to give their slaves any opportunity to escape? God dang, people can be so dumb. They had heavy guardship over those that was enslaved. They guarded them heavily because they knew what? They would escape. Right. But let's focus on what he said. He said, black people are good at everything. Majority of white America, I mean, a majority of Western culture is, when they speak of America, black culture. I just have to say that again. It's black culture. Okay. So yeah, back to the topic, visionaries. And I ran down how we, foundational black Americans, we pay homage to our ancestors. We don't act as if they never exist. We pay homage. And it really it was so hurtful to see how South Africans forgot about Mandela in prison on an island for all those years and decades. And they allowed him to go walk the tribal area he was from, and the people didn't recognize him. They didn't even teach the kids about him. They didn't recognize him. A man who risked his life for you and your children, you and your parents, and they didn't recognize him. He was so hurt, they say. That is a hurtful thing. Mandela's kids would cry out to their mother. And when he told this story, they would cry out to her, why is it only our father that's locked away if he fought for everybody? Why didn't the other fathers get locked away and fight for for the people. Why just our dad? She said her daughters constantly question her like that. Why is it only our dad who was locked away fighting for the people? It's not fair. Yep, it's not. You got to question, where are the brothers, his fellow brothers that I knew was working with him and trying to fight against, the racist white regime, the apartheid system they structured. I'm quite sure he had some fellow brothers standing right there with him, giving pushback. Where are they? Why aren't they locked away too? So I remember Tupac's mother telling him, she was saying that she told him, or I think it was him telling the interviewer that his mother told him not to not to sacrifice himself for the people, because you got to let them stand up and fight for themselves too. And ain't that the truth? That is the truth. You cannot just expect somebody to go out and fight for you. You have to stand up as a man and a woman as well and fight together. It should never be rest if your brother is locked away like that. 27 years. Uh-uh. Uh-uh. It was more of them than the white people. There was no protests, there was no riots, I guess, no anything. I'm not understanding. I'm not judging, but I'm just saying, in America, when something like that goes down, what you have mega protests all around the country. Protest and don't stop protesting, Martin Luther King said. Riots, protesting. Yeah. You know, before he was killed, Martin Luther King, he said that he felt he was leading his people into a burning house. You guys know what that means, right? Taking partnership with another nation of people that's not well behaved. Put it like that. What people call evil behavior. So he made that statement, and he went on to tell the people they're going to offer you political positions like mayors and police chiefs, political positions. And he said, don't take it. Remain strong in your position. Basically, he was telling them, don't be broad. Stand strong. Don't be broad out of what you believe in. But of course, they were broad. They began to take those positions and hush their mouth and go along with the system that was structured against their very own people. And he had warned them about it. Don't do that. But they did. But he also said, whatever you do, continue having protests in large cities. Continue to have peaceful protests in large cities. And that is so you can always remind them who they are. Because if you don't, you're going along with their behavior. Okay? If you don't stand up against somebody that's doing wrong and say, hey, 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 don't do that in my presence while I'm here. Don't do that. I'm not with it. So the person know that you're not with their behavior. But if you with them and they be behaving in a certain manner that you're not cool with, but you stay silent, everybody who witnessing the people that you're with misbehaving, they're gonna assume that you're in agreement with it because you didn't stand up against it and check it and say, hey, wait a minute. I'm not into that. Don't do it in my presence. Let me leave out because I ain't got nothing to do with it. Silence is a form of agreeing with something. We called a lot of the white people out who say they're not about racism and stuff like that. We called them out long time ago and say, well, if you're silent though, you don't speak against it though, it means you're in agreement with it. You understand what I'm saying? I love the fact that foundational Black Americans, we pay homage to our people. We don't forget them. We don't let them become a thing of the past that's never known. Our children know about those who sacrificed their lives for them, those of the past, those who try to escape slavery. Many of them, and many of them we don't even know about. Our children know about all the inventions, the great things that we were able to create. Even our people was able to create, even in the midst of a horrible atmosphere of slavery. It means nothing can hold you back, nothing can stop you. Do you guys know that there's many black owned Wall Street businesses? Not as many as we would like, but they have them. But we don't know about them, right? Because they try to cock block them too, because they don't want too many of them there in the money mix. And in order for them to even get in there, they have to be invited some kind of way. Somebody open the door. One of those white people say, "Okay, I'm gonna give you the hookup." You understand what I'm saying? But not too many of them. Let's go deeper into that. We don't actually need them anyway to do anything to invite us in. I mean, right now today, black people, there's so many $1 million black black people that's millionaires. What I'm saying, so they can come together and do what they need to do for themselves. They really don't need to be invited in by anybody. They really don't need to try to join the NFL league or whatever. If they want their own sports team, they just create their own sports team and take it from there. But what if you want to challenge this, that, and that? Baby, let me tell you something. Back in the days, black people had their own baseball league where they played against each other. The white people had their own stuff, but they had started to see where black men was awesome at the game. And because they like gambling for money, betting and stuff, they were like, hey, hey, black dude, you want to come and play on my team? To Jackie Robinson. And he was like, well, I'm already on a team. And they were like, but we're going to pay you a lot of money though. How about that? Can they pay you this amount of money? And he was like, okay. So he started playing for the white team. He was very good, of course, made them a lot of money. and they paid him a good bit of money and so forth like that. But he endured a lot of racism too, just like Venus and Serena. Remember when they first started playing? Oh, child, they was hated. Ooh, them white people couldn't. I mean, they couldn't cover them frowns. It was just out there. They couldn't even hold their tongue back from attacking the young girls. Tiger Woods endured it. Yeah, telling that man go home and eat your rice and chicken. I mean, yeah, honey. Just recently, a young lady was called all kind of names by a white lady in a tennis match who lost. I mean, child gymnastics. They damn near and took over gymnastics. But back to the topic. The topic is visionaries. Our people are great visionaries. I'm one of them. I'm a great visionary person. And what I mean by that, let's get deeper into that right quick. A visionary type of person is a person that, say for instance, they live in a hood, like a real dirty, dirty hood, though, trashy. A visionary is somebody who can see better, even though it looks dirty. They're optimistic about the future of it, that they can change it and make it better. That's what a visionary type of person think like. That's what Martin Luther King was. That's what Harriet Tubman was. She'd never been to she'd never been to free land. All she knew is she heard about it, and she was willing to take the chance to find out, because she believed, which is fate, that it was a better life. It was somewhere out there in the world, in the universe, in a world where she could be free. I know me, I would have took that chance too, for real. So Martin Luther King, in his mind, a visionarist, he as well pictured a better society for his people. His was a quite different. His was more like, let's be, let's try and be brotherly with each other. See, a lot of people think he was an integrationist, but he really wasn't. He was a peaceful person. He believed in doing your best to get along with somebody, and if you can't, leave them be. That's what Bible believers. That's what the Bible teach. Do your best to get along, but if you can't, make peace with a person, move along and leave them alone. So his idea of it was to be kind, kill them with kindness. You understand? Not, he was never leading us into let's mate with them and procreate with them and all of that. No, 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 no. That man knew who he was dealing with. He knew who he was up against. He knew the evils of the people that he was up against. He had said that he knew that they were going to kill him. What do you, hello? He knew what he was up against. He was not trying to integrate and move into a society of marrying them and procreating with them and all of that, like people be saying. But you got to watch people when you have a movement or something you pushing, and you got people that's coattailing you. Um, they're not always there to support you. They're there to, get their own agenda pushed, or they there to pick up the pieces when you fall and take over, like Jesse Jackson. You know what I'm saying? That's what they dare to do. Martin Luther King's brother, before he was killed, they said, supposedly drowned, they said his wife say she heard him on the phone saying that to somebody who was in an organization with them that he knows that he set his brother up to be killed. She died shortly too, but not too long ago. But she said that's what her husband heard. So that man was not about integration. I don't know why people push that. He was pushing a brotherly love type of thing. You understand what I'm saying? As in, we can live on the same land and be peaceful with each other and help each other grow the land. Like if they got some Bible stories where like the tribe of Esau, Jacob's twin sons, not Jacob, Isaac twin sons, Jacob and Esau and Jacob. Jacob had 12 and did Jacob had yeah, he had 12. Esau had some, but they split it because of some troubles that they had in the family and stuff like that with Jacob stealing his brother's birthright and stuff. But my point is Esau, the firstborn, he merged with another tribe. Okay. So his tribe was already big, but he merged with another tribe of people and it was even bigger. And so the merging of his tribe with the other group, it didn't go where they blended together like as one. When they merged, each tribe still had their own king. Yeah. So Esau's and his descendants still had their kings and leaders of each tribe. A tribe is when like Esau have, say for instance, 10 sons, and that's 10 tribes of Esau. So each of those tribes had their own leader and stuff like that. The other group that merged with them, let's say nation, the other nation that merged with them, they also had continued on with their own tribal leaders and stuff like that. So when they merged, they were brothers, but they also remained separate, but one. If you follow what I'm saying, they were separate, but one. Now, I'm quite sure people intermarried and stuff like that, sure. But when it came to choosing a king, Esau, the Edomites chose their king from the Edomites. And the other nation, I think it started with an H or S, Seer or something like that. They chose their king from their nation. See what I'm saying? But yet that's something like that what Martin Luther King was picturing. I believe he was picturing something like that. That we can live side by side as brothers and grow a great nation. He had no ideas of running away from these particular people to somewhere else, even though we know God's world is big. He had no kind of, I've never heard the man say he wanted to flee or anything. So um he wasn't an integrationist. He was just killing them. Killing them with kindness, offering the hand of brotherhood. And here we go, right here. Here we go. He learned, as we know, that is some people you can't be brotherly with them because they possess something within that is completely different from what you possess. Now, you got some people like that in your family. You can't F with them because, they own something completely different. You know what I mean? You be trying to be sisterly and brotherly with them and they just shit on you constantly. Like, what is your problem? What is the problem? I'm trying to be sisterly or brotherly, and you continuously treat me like crap. So, sometimes you gotta learn how to let people be. You know what I'm saying? Um, I once lived in this white neighborhood, and I saw a black woman move there. She was about my age bracket, and she had a kid too. And I was so happy to see her. I'm like, sister, hey girl. I basically grabbed her by the hand and the arm. I'm like, yes. And she, I guess, because she grew up there, she was more. She identified more with Caucasian people, and so I kept pushing myself on this lady because I felt that she was a sister. We both were sisters, and we among different kind of people. And let's kick it, let's bond, let's be one. But she wasn't on that, and somebody brought it to my attention. They say, "Girl, when somebody is rejecting your friendship, it's a reason behind that. Do not keep pushing it. Open your eyes. Don't keep pushing you. It's a reason they reject your friendship." And then I found out this lady is an Oreo. This lady is not on the I'm black stuff. She grew up around whites. She don't identify herself like that, whether it be her fault or not. She grew up like that. And 1 second. And later on, I caught on to that. 1 second. Oh, come on now. Yeah, later on, I caught on to that. And I learned not to do that. Do not push relationships that clearly, you know it's not your cup of tea. Or even if you introduce yourself and that person's like, and that's it, let that person greet you the next time or whatever. But yeah, um, that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to promote that type of, brotherly. He was not promoting, no, let's integrate and procreate together and be one. No. So, anyways, with Martin Luther King's, it wasn't Martin Luther King movement. I told you guys a while back, he was hired as the face of the movement. The movement was authored by Black women who was looking for a male to lead the organization because back in those days, women could not lead, couldn't speak. Women didn't have so much leeway as a authoritative figure in this country at the time. So they needed a male representation. And the many reverends, a lot of the brothers were reverends in those days, respected reverends. And Martin Luther King was new in town, and he decided to take it to help the women. But when he took it, it led him into a whole nother arena of life. He became the face of a movement that became very powerful. And he was a young man. His mother taught them to stand on what they believed in. Period. And he did that. But again, let me bring it back to you. He realized that, you know, he said he was leading his people into a burning house. It's some people you just can't push a relationship with especially when you know how they are. Because for me, It's certain kind of people I can't befriend. I'm not gonna break bread with everybody. No, 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 no. It's certain kind of people I can't befriend. And so he learned that. Again, he was a young man with hopes, high hopes, faith, and he was practicing his faith, to kill the person with kindness. But that didn't work because that was a particular type of people that it doesn't work with. So yeah, it's sad to hear when people be like, he was an integrationist and happy integration day on Martin Luther King Day. They'll be talking about happy integration day. I'm like, oh my gosh, that man was not pushing that. That's not what he was about. And everybody have their own ways of doing things. Everybody have their own little idea of how to get a job done. Okay. So, um, big ups. I give much respect to him and his family. Not only was he targeted, but his family as well. Y'all know his brother drowned, supposedly drowned. Then they sent a young black boy into the church house to kill a father, but the dad had ducked and the mom was playing the piano and so the organ, so he shot her dead. Okay. The daddy used to call his sons the Thunderbird, and they taught them to stand on what they believed in. But let me take it back to Tupac, what Tupac's mother said. She said, don't sacrifice yourself for the people because the people, she said, one second. I hate when it's too commercial. Mm-mm. She said, don't sacrifice yourself for the people because let them stand for themselves. So, see, you can start an organization, but each man gonna join to stand for himself, not just you. It ain't no leadership. It's a group, and a brother should never let a brother go down. Mm-mm, mm-mm. So, basically, she was saying that for people that sacrifice themselves and put themselves out there, for people that sacrifice themselves and put themselves on the line, a lot of them were dealt with, and the other ones fled. And that's not how it goes. If he's putting himself out there, he's putting his life on the line. Got a little cough. Hold on. One person is what I'm saying. One person shouldn't put themselves on the line for everybody. Everybody put themselves on the line. It's not. That's what Tariq Nasheed doing, by the way, right? Some people I've heard be like, "What is punk ass?" He won't put something in the atmosphere. What is this? Let me see. Hold up a second, because I see the dollar sign. Let me see if this is like okay, it's say oh yeah, they say I saw a little sign here. Hold on one second. Delete the comment. Okay. All right. Hold up. All right, that's better. So anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about that's what Tariq Nasheed doing, right? He like, ooh, every time I hear him talking, he like, ooh, uh-uh. It's funny to me. Hold on. He like, ooh, uh-uh. I ain't nobody's leader. Like that. He makes sure, he makes sure you don't put him out there as the leader. Who? Who said I was the leader? This ain't about no leadership now. This is just strictly about lineage. I ain't nobody's leader. He been very smart about it because he doesn't want to put himself out there if it does take off to be something bigger and bigger and bigger. He doesn't want to put himself out there as the leader because you guys know what happened when an organization pop off like that. What happens is that they go to the root to cut down the root. Okay, the person that established started it, and he up there like, "Who? I ain't no leader of anything. Oh no, I'm not." I said, "Well, that's pretty smart. Nobody should be a leader, and that is the truth. That's correct. Every man should stand for himself. All right, somebody can put something together, and everybody work to build on it. Okay, that's how they go. If you want to take part, because everybody don't have to take part in it. Some people may not believe in it. You might start something over there and say, "All right, this is what I'm doing." If people want to take part, they take part, but everybody will still know that it was something that you established. But it's for everybody. It grows. You let other people grow it. You understand what I'm saying? Because you don't want there to be a leak. Okay, so visionaries like our people, they changed the world. These are too many commercials. Oh my goodness. But visionaries like our people, they changed the world. They they see a future even when it doesn't look good. We need visionaries in our mix. We have a many visionaries around us. Even some of our young people are, oh yes, they are visionaries. That's what our people are. That's what we are. The hand of oppression blocked us from owning businesses and all that as though we ain't capable of doing so when everybody should know. If you just do a little reading and history searching, you'll understand who we really are and you'll understand the game that's being played. But even in the midst of that, we still survive and we still going, that's going to change pretty soon. We ain't going, oh, we doomed and done. Nope. We sitting here watching them come and give trillions of dollars to foreigners, USA billions to foreigners, while they put the hand of suppression upon the foundation of Black America. We ain't bothered because if it's one thing we do know, payback's a bitch. What goes around comes around. The behavior that you sow, that's the law of the land. That's what you reap. Period. Okay. So I wanted to take a moment and reflect on our people, the visionaries of foundational Black Americans in America who never lost sight of a better future for our people, who always saw, who always was optimistic about the future. And still, there's a lot of us today, visionary, foundational Black Americans that hold a clear, optimistic vision for our people and hope. And it's not something that's impossible. It's not. When I look at, not look at, but when I think about places like these African countries, and I think about how these people have their own language, and I go, well, what's holding them back from doing what they need to do? Why? Where are the visionaries? When I heard about the Treyarch guy, I'm like, oh, that's a wonderful thing. What he's doing, he he's building up his country. He's gathering his youth. Let me tell you something. If I had a goddamn old country and I had young men there, well, I'd gather all my young men up and I'd train the hell out of them. God dang it, it would be the beast of the earth. Okay? I'm talking it would be real soldiers. My young women, I would give them positions to, I would train them too, but I would also give them positions on how to raise their children. I would teach them how to raise the children and all that kind of stuff, not let them figure it out. Teach, organize my males. Everything begins with organizing. Everything. The man, they say he didn't put together his youth, collecting them up and promised them a lot of things. I really hope he be successful in it because I'm like, what is a country with all that youth, those strong men, and nothing to do? So I wish him well in it, that he produced something for his people, for his youth, because that's what it's about. You're building for your youth, right? Because as you build, you may get to enjoy what you feel like you comfortable with and everything, but you actually building for the next generation. You understand what I'm saying? Those who came before us, they enjoyed themselves, but they was actually the working, they were building for us, the next generation. That's why you have to pay homage to those who came before you. Be respectful. Okay. So I wish that man well. I'm like, oh wow. Okay, he didn't gather the youth together and promise them stuff. Oh man, it's a lot you can do over there. Teach the people how to form, and I mean, like, you don't really need no white people to come in your mix to survive. Black Americans, foundational Black Americans don't need white people to survive. We don't need reparations. But if people want to ask for reparations and economic justice, that's fine. Ain't nobody saying we need it to survive. Don't be a big doofus. We've been surviving without reparations. Duh. We just have a demand like every other people in America have demands for their different communities. We have a white women had a demand when they joined the civil rights movement, right? They had a demand. Latinos had a demand when when they came in, it was like, hey, we stand with the civil rights and all that. We joining y'all, we fighting for theirs. They had Asian groups that joined the civil rights movement. They had demands. What you want us to not have demands? One of our demands is reparations, economic justice. That's what Dr. King was. That was one of his demands. Economic justice. No, no, no. You don't need reparations. Well, who the hell are you to say such? Who the hell are you? So when I said that, that's to pinpoint there's agents of chaos out here. That's what I call them, agents of chaos. They come to distract, deter, and to erase. Distract us from what we trying to get and accomplish, deter us to Africa somewhere completely like why would we want to go to Africa when people is, you know, blowing up balloons and diving in the ocean on balloon boats to get out of Africa? Are you crazy? We know people's doing all kind of crazy stuff to get out of there. Look how they try to take them back there. I wouldn't want to go back there either. But you try to deter us to a whole nother place. Not only that, they try to get us to go along with them and erase our unique culture, our identity and culture. Ain't that some shit? That's what these Pan Africans tried to pull on us in cahoots with the Africans and the white people that want us out. As many of us that they can get out at least. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so happy that we crushed them like a jelly bean. Okay? They came over here. Agents of chaos is what they are. Every time they show up in the mix, what they do? Agents of chaos. Period. They'll start off nice and smooth talk, and then they'll lead right into their you know, agent of chaos. And if it's up to me, when we having talks of delineation, reparation, whatever it is, no kind of immigrant should be present. Period. I am not in a mindset that we need anybody in order to succeed at something. That's crazy talk to me. Okay. So my mindset is not there where we have to have other groups, other ethnic groups, and other groups of people present in order for us to accomplish something as a people. Okay. Those are people that have emotional ties to the people that we're delineating from. Okay. They have emotional ties to other people. That's why they promote, oh, no, 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 no. No, we have to have them at the table with us when we're delineating from them. And when we saying that we boycotting them, and when we saying we gatekeeping for, protecting our cultural heritage and achievements from them, we need them at the table. I'm not going into that today. I'm not. Not going to go into that today. Listen, in my opinion, we don't need anybody else there except us talking about foundational Black Americans, talking about what is better for our community. Okay? We're talking about organizing our community. Okay? So, yeah. Um, yeah, a lot of them are agents of chaos. And if we have some supporters of them, that's fine too. Thank you for your support. And yeah, this is still strictly for foundational Black Americans to come and meet and discuss their community, bettering their communities. No offense, baby, but no, it's not for everybody. Why would I bring myself to a Jamaican community meetup? I, hold on, I'm not Jamaican. I don't have no half Jamaican children or anything. I don't got no husband or nothing that's Jamaican or nothing. But I'm gonna insert myself into the Jamaican community of meetings where they're trying to, talk about how to, build and all that kind of stuff, build their community up. I'm gonna just insert myself in there. I'm not gonna insert myself in Asian people communities. Like they're gonna be looking at me crazy, like, what is she doing here? What is she doing here? They're gonna be like, why don't you go help clean your own community? I mean, I think they need you over there, you know. I knew some black men who was like that. They go to other people communities like Asians and whites, and they be volunteering with the children and stuff. And them Asian people and the white people be looking like, now why you not volunteering in black communities? Because they most certainly need you over there. Because he's a self hater, baby. Some people are self haters. They have internalized racism and inferiority complex. They hate themselves. So, like I said, some people are emotionally connected to these other groups of people, and that's why they want to bring them into the table when we're talking about um, bettering the communities of foundational Black Americans. Nobody else has anything to do with that. Period. Period. And I would take it a step further for my personal belief. I feel that not even by ethnic people can lead that because by ethnic people have dual allegiance. And I would not expect a bi ethnic person to, I would expect them to have dual allegiance is what I'm saying. So I wouldn't even invite them to the table because they have dual allegiance. Okay, they good for some other things though. I call them the bridge people, as y'all know. I've talked about that. They good to do some other things, but um, no, not for discussing what is needed for foundational Black Americans to better their communities. Okay, so um, yeah, visionaries of our community. There's a lot of them out there, y'all. When we hear people, let me think of some people. Let me see some current people. Oh my. Um, See, our people been set back so much. We let these foreigners come up and represent us and get in places of, representing us and all this stuff. Um, yeah, see, I can't even think of one of them right now. Like modern day visionary. That's I'm talking. That's famous. That everybody knows of. Umar, I don't believe Umar Johnson is foundational Black American, and even if so, um, no, I can't think of one off the top of my head at the moment. But listen, um, that's another thing, though. I think that I think that people need to understand we're in a different. Listen, we're in a whole new era. This is a whole new millennium. And we can't be affording to think about things the way our ancestors thought about things because we're in a completely different atmosphere. Oh, let me lead into this right quick and then I'll go back to visionary topic. But we're in a whole another atmosphere, y'all, in this country. Have you guys been paying attention? Listen, lately I've been seeing a lot of videos of white people bringing robots into black communities. Have y'all seen it? Oh, it's a lot. It's happening a lot. Letting the children touch it and feel it and get used of it and all that kind of stuff. I do hope you guys know that they're preparing you and the children, our neighborhood people for robotic patrol. You guys do know that, right? Remember when Trump, well, I'm at the hour mark already. Let me speed up my conversation because I don't want to be on here past 2 hours. So y'all remember when Trump was like, was, besties with Elon, and he was like, we are going to, he was like, yeah, we're besties and we're going to make this nation the first robotic nation. And people's like, what? What do you mean by that? What do you mean? What do you mean by robotic nation? Okay, so you're gonna remove all the gay stuff and make everything robotic. Okay. So let me drink some tea. Hold on. Yeah, honey. They was like, so what you mean by this robotic stuff? We need to know more. What did he mean? What does he mean, guys? I was like, ooh, I'm so excited. You guys are gonna see. Just wait and see. Everybody was like, robotics. So it was spoken later that he wanted to use the robots as police to police the neighborhood. And who neighborhoods do they police though? They don't go, get uniforms on and go ride around and patrol white neighborhoods and shit harassing people. They do that to black people and Latin people. They police our communities. And that is why they are bringing these robots out into our communities so our children and the people in the communities can get used to seeing them walking around and the children are running up to the robots, patting them and touching them and ooh, and all of that kind of stuff, right? These are not the weaponized robots yet. Weaponized one they're gonna bring out later and shit. You know what I'm saying? Listen, these are the, childlike robots. They're just getting people used of them, seeing them in the neighborhood and stuff. They be having them walking down the street in the hood and stuff. Yeah, they're preparing people for these robots that's gonna come. Oh no, he's friendly. Go ahead, touch him, feel him, rub him. Yeah, all that kind of stuff like that. But you won't be able to get to touch and feel that those weaponized ones. And I heard that they say if they're gonna have a law where if somebody damage a weaponized robot that they get like 50 years or something. Yeah, creepy sounding, huh? It sounds really creepy and scary, but listen, the atmosphere is changing, people. It's changing. Not only that, those robots, those robots are not gonna just be policing the neighborhood. Because they're not going to test that shit on their own people in their own neighborhoods, okay? They're not only going to be patrolling the neighborhoods and policing the neighborhoods, but and you know, black people like to hang out. We're not inside folks and backyard folks. We like to hang on our porch and congregate, and we noisy people. We like noise. We like to listen to the music. How that robot going to adjust to that? Um, is it gonna get used to twerking and dancing? And you know, we got all kind of dances that might come off as violent, but it's not. It's a form of a dance. It's crumping. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh no, I don't like. I don't like. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. I don't like. I don't like. Listen, I don't. I don't. Ooh, ooh, no. Now, listen, when it comes to the prisons, okay, that's one thing because you got a lot of gang activity in there and stuff like that. I can see them testing it out on that, keeping the violence down in the prisons by using those things. That would really help in the prisons, especially if they're saying that they don't have enough staff in there. But in neighborhoods, that's quite different because it's young people there, it's young children there, and you know, like I say, we're a special kind of people. We like noise. We have dances and stuff that may come off as a violent move when it's really not. It's dancing, and you know, other nations of people don't have our type of energy and stuff. You know, so yeah. Um, yo, Ricky, that might come off violent, but that's not violent. That's our culture. So yeah, I don't like the idea of them testing it in our neighborhood and stuff. Testing in your own neighborhood first. Let us see how they go, how they work, and then you can bring it over. But they ain't gonna test it in their neighborhood first. They never do. They don't never test their own people first. So people, the atmosphere is changing, and just know what's to come. We are moving into a robotic time. They have these things are not going to just be patrolling neighborhoods, but they are going to be taking over a lot of jobs. Okay, they already have taken over a lot of jobs, and they're about to start taking over more jobs because out of Trump's mouth, he said it himself that this is going to be the first nation to be fully robotic. You know, a lot of people was concerned when he said that. They were like, "What does that mean?" What's what do you mean? What does that mean? Fully robotic? Oh, you're messing with this Elon. You know, the white people was losing it. They were like, he needs to go. We need to get him out of there. So, anyways, just imagine where it's gonna be. I mean, like I said, not just patrolling the streets, policing the communities. It's gonna also these robots are also taking over. going to be taking over a lot of jobs at restaurants and everywhere you can think. See, I'm trying to think off the top of my head right now, but I'm not pulling up a lot of stuff. But they're going to be a lot. We're going to see them a lot. Okay, if Trump deal is set in place, which we seeing them bring them already to the community, so people can get used to them. We're going to be seeing them a lot if it goes, fully through. Okay, so that's kind of creepy, scary to me. I don't too much like the idea of it. Um, they're they're saying that a lot of people is jobless, and it is true. Remember, Trump went through all of the government um, agencies that money is issued to, that to take care of the communities, like DHSH and food stamps and housing and mental facilities to help, all that. He went through all the government agencies and uprooted the gay programs. There's not one gay program left that give funding. There isn't any gay programs, and he made it two genders only again, which is man and woman. And he got rid of all of that, and he got rid of a lot of money that he felt was being wasted. Nobody was really, those positions was covered, but people was just getting extra money or something like that. But let me tell you something. He laid off a lot of people in the process. Okay, a lot of people do not have jobs, and so it's because AI is in effect. I don't know if you guys ever paid attention when you went to the hospital or to see the doctor. Like, they've been using AI for a long time. They just decided to release it to the public, but the doctors been using AI for a very long time. Either they type on their computer your symptoms, or they have a gadget where they used to type everything in that gadget. That's because they were using AI to diagnose the symptoms of the person, you see. And so it's been released to the public, and AI is a very um listen, you can do just about anything on there. Like, AI is not just chat GPT. It goes beyond that. It has different many different tools to do many different things. I only, use chat GPT, but a lot of other people use it for everything. Yes, you can make lots of money using it. I haven't delved into using AI tools besides ChatGPT, but yes, you can make a lot of money off of using those AI tools. You can just about do everything with it. Okay, just about. So, for it's like paper work and stuff like that. Um, so see, when he fired all those people from those government jobs, it's because AI was in place, and all the tech people, they just transitioned those positions into AI because they don't need human people to do it. AI get the job done. So the jobs dwindle all the way down to like few people at the company, right? And he was like, "Oh, we don't need them there anymore. Like, it's just a waste of money." No, sir. I think it's because AI took the jobs. Okay, AI is doing those jobs now. Okay, and so a lot of people was put out of work. Positions that didn't need to be filled by humans. All right. And so, again, a lot of people did lose their jobs. He paid them good, though. Okay. Because, the Elon was like, listen, we can do all this right here. We don't need but 25 people at this company to oversee some stuff. What? And the other 200, you can let them go. I'm like, oh, so that's because AI cover those jobs now. Okay, people. And so what happened is that he paid them very well, though. Trump paid them very well. When he let them go, nobody walked away empty handed now. A lot of them got paid very, I'm talking thousands and stuff, thousands. They got paid very well to walk away. Some of them were offered to stay or walk away. A lot of them took the money and retired from the position, and walked away. Yeah. So, not just in a government field, AI, a lot of people in the tech field lost jobs too. Many, many people in the tech industry because it was replaced with AI. They don't need humans to do those positions. Like now they promote AI as majors in school and stuff because if you got a tech job, likely because it's still growing. It's not something that stopped growing. This AI tool stuff is still growing. And so likely they'll promote you if you're interested in tech to learn AI, like do AI management or engineering or something like that. Because if not, um, in the future, yes, your job will be replaced with AI tools. So a lot of people in the tech industry, listen, they're about to they already have restaurants in like Asia, different parts of Asian countries. They have restaurants that's run fully by robots. They already like 10 steps ahead of us over there in Japan and stuff. I think China too. They already got robot facilities and using the robots to do stuff already. They're already doing it. I seen a video of this Asian guy riding a bike. I forgot what country it is, but he was riding his bike and the robot came walking down the street. He jumped off that bike, parked into the side. He was scared of the robot. So he started easing away, and a robot ran up to his bike and started touching it and examining it. And the guy was standing there looking like he was afraid. You know what I'm saying? And that's how people gonna be. People gonna be like Jitsi, a little like, oh my goodness, that thing is dangerous, you know? So, cause what you gonna do when one of them things attack? Like, we don't know what it's made of. Like, oh my goodness, it's kind of creepy, like a movie. And so, I want you guys to know something that when we watching movies, then you must understand that movies are there to program us. That's why they make these movies to program you and get you prepared to accept things that's to come. They're preparing you your mind to accept it as normal. So they make a whole lot of movies of these type of robot movies and stuff because they're preparing you to be accepting when it does come. Yeah. So that's the atmosphere right now that we're heading into, like robotic time in this country. I know, like I say, in some parts of Asia, y'all should look it up. Some parts of Asia, I think it's China and Japan. I think they like I said, they like 10 steps ahead of America for as robots doing stuff over there and running restaurants and all that kind of stuff and being waitresses and stuff and hotel housekeeping and stuff. I think they had a hotel that was fully run by robots over there. Okay. So that's where society is headed to. Um, we already have self-driving vehicles, which I'm not into. I mean, they're cool and all, they are, but I'm not too digging it. Um, we have self-driving vehicles, and what else we got out there? A lot of robotic stuff already. A lot of robotic stuff already. But that's what we heading into, people. and concerning people losing their jobs because of this AI takeover. And um, in America in particular, I mean, right now he's gonna have to fund the people some kind of way, because if we don't have jobs to make a living, that's a problem. If we don't have jobs to make a living, because AI is doing a lot of the jobs, or robots is doing a lot of jobs, that's going to be a problem. And there's a lot of people saying they don't want to work 9 to 5s no more anyway. So hey, that's a good thing for them. But the only thing is they got to find a way to make money, make an income. Okay, like um, I just heard there's a trending topic about Trump. Well, we know that he gave them 30 days to evict illegal immigrants, people who were not documented or can't prove that they, have citizenship to the country, out of Section 8 housing. That includes public housing too, like a housing project. Um, the housing authority covers both Section 8 how project, base homes, yeah, you can say base homes. And what else? They also have they cover like senior living, some of those senior living facilities. Okay. But I think they say when it pertains to somebody that's 75 and older, they don't mess with them. I think it should be 60 though. I think they should not mess with 60-year-olds and stuff. You can let them be. But I know 75 years of age, they don't mess with them, because that's considered like elders and stuff. Um, there that those a lot of those facilities are run by public housing authorities on the HUD as well. So it's not just Section 8, it's project housing as well and other facilities as well. So he given them 30 days to evict the illegal non-illegals from housing. That's a lot of people, by the way, because they gave out a lot of Section 8 housing to illegals to help them out when they came to the country. You know, that's what they were giving them, because a lot of the projects were filled up and stuff like that. All right, so then there's another topic of Section 8 having a 2-year cap for people that already have Section 8. And I'm like, wait a minute, honey, wait a minute now. That big old goofy looking man who over the hood, man, Corey Baker or something. I say this dude right here, look at him. Oh my gosh. Really? Come on now. I don't I think he probably kissed Trump's butt, because he's not he don't look like somebody Trump would actually choose unless he's like running. But he comes off a little. I don't want to be mean. He has no idea. It's almost like, sir, where do you live at? He's up there talking about. He's up there talking about he's going to put a 2-year cap on Section 8 housing for people that already had Section 8 housing, that abuse Section 8 housing. I'm like, yes, sir, whatever. When you guys realize that it's majority of white people that's on it, you'll change that lingo really fast. So nobody's thinking about that. But listen, I thought about Do you know how many and they're not talking about for seniors and disabled. They're talking about able-bodied people, they say, that's able to work, like I guess mentally and physically healthy. And I'm like, if you don't hug, listen, this country doesn't promote marriage like that anymore. This country have TV shows that put young people on TV who have babies out of wedlock. What they call them shows, teen moms and stuff. And baby, it's not just blacks; it's all kinds, white, Asians, uh, all kinds of girls be on them shows. The teen moms or something. They promote this stuff in this country. They're not promoting get married or this. They're not out here promoting that. I mean, when it comes to unwed children, it's across the color line. It has nothing to do with color anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with color or race. Our young people do not believe in getting married anymore, like getting documented as married anymore. That is not something they're doing anymore. Okay? People rarely have weddings these days. It's a lot of common law stuff going on. So, of course, you have a lot of single mothers because there's no, he's not committed, he's not tied into a relationship because when you get married, you become financially responsible for that family. If he's in a common law relationship with his child's mother, he's not legally responsible. Okay, legally she can get child support, but like I think, well, they made a law now where if they've been together over 10 years, yes, that woman does become like a wife, even though they're not legally married. She's still considered a wife if it's documented any kind of way they've been over 10 together over 10 years. So actually they still do get what married women get. Okay. It's just not a legal documentation of marriage, you know. Usually people got married back in the days when they had some financial wealth anyways. They didn't get married just because they were in love. It was usually a dad gave a child over, a daughter over to a man that was financially wealthy to marry or whatever like that and build a family with. But they always handed their daughters over to somebody that had something going on with themselves, and made it a legal document as well to protect her and her children if anything happens to him who can't, the provider of the family. Well, we're not living in those times, are we? The rent is so sky high. Like the man these days need the women to work because that's how much they charge it for households now. It's ridiculous. We're not in those days like that anymore. Um, it's not like that. So there's a lot of um, young men and men that have multiple families, is what I'm saying. They got children over there, children over there, children over there, and over, just all around the community, all around the country. And so, with that being said, in America, we have so many, many, many single mothers. And as I said earlier, it takes two to live a comfortable life in America now. It takes two people income or you have a hell of an income on your own. Okay? That's how that's going today. It takes two. That's how expensive things are. And now that we're in this particular atmosphere right now, the increase of everything, oh, come on now. You talking about cutting a lot of single mothers from housing with only one income? That man got four different families. A lot of those women do not put those men on support because they just don't. They want to remain friendly with him. And even if they did, if he got multiple children everywhere with a set amount of income, he's not like a hell of an income earner. You're not going to get nothing, too much of nothing, anyways. So, that makes me go like, what? A cap, a two 2 year cap. You know how many single mothers it is out here? And single dads who then took their children and raising their children as well. Um, they have single dads out here, people, if you don't know. They raising their children. Come on now. Off of one income. And Section 8 is helping them a lot to raise their children up. Now I've seen people online, they was hating hard on people with Section 8. I'm like, I don't know if that's tethers, because tethers be really jealous hard at acting people. But I'm like, well, first of all, why in the hell are you worried about somebody getting rental assistance? Why why do you why are you concerned about that? Your tax dollars. Are you kidding? Let's dig into what your mama get. I bet you your mama gets some type of assistance. My tax dollars. Don't act like these people in America never worked. They pay taxes too. And if they need to have housing assistance, you gonna treat them like they never ever paid taxes. They never worked in a country. They never had a job. They never paid taxes. A lot of those people pay taxes too since they've been working. And a lot of women on Section 8 do work. A lot of them women still get out there and work. Now I have one kid, and he's not a kid anymore. He's a young adult. But I used to see, like, my sister got three, my cousins, everybody got multiple children, and all my friends, associates, everybody I socialized with had more than one kid. And people used to think that I didn't want more than one kid. I'm like, nah, I wanted 12 kids. I've always wanted 12, but I only got one. Okay, my friend, she was like, I want one. I'm like, I want 12. She ended up having eight, and I got one. I'm like, oh, yep. Everybody used to bring their kids to me. I love the kids. I love the kids. I love the kids. And so that's why I was a big fan of Trick Daddy. He used to be like, yeah, Trick love the kids. He used to get all them toys and dump them off in the projects and stuff. Oh man, that was awesome. That's the first person I seen do that. I was like, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, anyways, that would be a crazy thing to do because we're already in a housing crisis in this country. You can't be homeless. It's a law against being homeless. It's the law against being homeless. And then it's hella expensive these days. It's inflation time. You can't put no 2 year. Do you know the shit that'll pop off a 2 year cap on Section 8 during this time in this atmosphere right now? The inflation, the no, it's against the law to be homeless. Um, Come on now. I know these daddies don't want to be put on child support by demand. Because if they was to do something like that, A lot of men was on that. Yeah, I'm glad. Why? Because you think women gonna have to run up to you and beg you for help. That's why you're glad to see a woman with children, multiple children, or in a homeless situation. Is that you really glad to see something like that? Women hate no other women. You glad to see her because you gotta go to work and pay your full amount of rent. You don't want to see other women get to pay half of their rent. I mean, is it just Section 8? What about public housing? People, I mean, public housing is the same thing. You don't pay a lot of rent. So yeah, I was like, I don't know if that's tethers or some they got some messed up people out here. It is none of your business how somebody else pay their bills. Or if they got assistance. You can go apply for assistance yourself if you feel that way you want it too. But it's none of your business how somebody else pay their bills. That never should be your business. If so, you have a serious problem of jealousy. Okay? Let me take a sip of my drink. I was like, now what if they turn around and be like, well, because Trump be like, but because I have decided to put a cap on Section 8, we're going to go after the fathers of these children. Fellas, you're going to have to take a lot of tests when these mothers point you out as the daddy. And you're going to have to take care of your children now. We're going to be men in this country. Now, what if you switch up like that? They wouldn't like that then because they think that they can leave those children on those women and go do what the hell they want to do and not be financially responsible. And she ended up in Section 8 housing with his children, providing for his children. Child, let me not go down there tonight. I ain't going down that rabbit hole tonight. Moving along. Ooh, let me tell you something. You guys, they had a job fair for in Texas for ICE, and they say 2,000 people showed up at the job fair in Texas for ICE to be ICE, and they offer some good benefits and perks. I say, wow, yes, people, they hiring a lot. Yep, a lot. 2,000 people. Dang, a lot of people do not have jobs. I told y'all. A lot of people. I told them why they laid a lot of people off. Yeah. So let me talk about what's in the news right quick. The National Guard being called out. Okay, DC, and they say they're sending them to Chicago and possibly New Orleans. You know, I'm originally from New Orleans. I was born and raised in New Orleans, and let me tell you something. It is nothing nice. The mentality, the mentality is nothing nice. They don't care about jails and prisons and all that. It's they don't even think about that. Okay. I grew up in a time where it was a lot of violence and people could just be sitting on a porch, chilling and talking, and boom, boom. And we don't notice, no more friends. I don't like it. I never did. So, you know, in New Orleans at the current time, and it's been going on for like 3 years now. I still have a whole lot of family there. My dad, my aunts, all that, my cousins and stuff. Listen, in New Orleans at the current time, New Orleans is short of police. When I say short, they try to say that they wasn't as short, but the ex of cops, but the ex like for Mardi Gras and stuff, they gotta hire extra help from neighboring cities and stuff during Mardi Gras and stuff. They gotta hire cops and militia groups and stuff because that's how much of a shortage New Orleans cop force is. Okay. And so what happened is that about 3 years ago, two, three, I would say about 3 years ago, if your ass is living there and you're not strapped, I don't know what to say. Okay. I just don't know what to say because in New Orleans, they came out and said they had a shortage. And the ex police chief came out and behind them and was like, a shortage? You got like 60 cops. What's that? Is that really a shortage? So, anyways, they were informed you guys can look this up. They was informing the citizens to um, you're gonna have to look out for yourself. And they also turned around and they told the citizens to any kind of crime that happens to, you know, go to the crime area and make assessments. They gave them batons and stuff like that, but they didn't give them guns. But they hired the citizens to go and patrol their own neighborhoods because that's how short of cops they are in New Orleans. That the citizens have to assess the situations and call cops and wait for somebody to show up and stuff. So they basically had told them in so many ways, you're gonna have to look out for yourself. Yeah, it's been like that now for a few years. Okay, and let me tell you something. You don't want to be there unarmed. That's just crazy. That's crazy. It's a different kind of mindset and culture. So I'm all for, you know, I know the older people, they like, yes, bring them. I'm all for it myself. If it keeps down crime, yes, I'm all for it. Now, in New Orleans, we are very outward people. We don't hang inside. Like if you walk through a white neighborhood, they usually hang in their houses or the backyard and they quiet. So other groups as well, like Asians. But I know like Mexicans, they more like us. We're more of a congregating people. We like to come out and congregate and turn on the music and everybody come out and congregate together every day in the neighborhood. That's the everyday happenings. We like to congregate. So with the National Guards being there, I don't know how that's gonna look because when they bring in the National Guards like they did in DC, there's a lot to it. You cannot wear masks. And I still wear my mask, by the way. If I'm going into a building, I cover my face with my mask. When I'm outside, I don't have on a mask. But anytime I step into a building, I put on a mask. Okay. So you can't wear masks in DC while the National Guards is stationary. You cannot wear masks. You can't, it's a lot of stuff you just can't do. If the police stop you on a train, walking down the street, anything, you can't be talking about what you're stopping me for. They have the right to stop you, the police and the National Guards. They have the right to stop you. You can't smoke or drink walking down the street. You probably can't even eat a sandwich walking down the street. Hey, buddy, is that a cigarette? Is that drink? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Coffee, open it up, let me smell it. Okay. So you can't you can't loiter in front of anywhere, of course. And black people, they like to loiter in front of places. you can't you can't be homeless on the street. They're gonna put you in a program or you're gonna go to jail if you're homeless. So that means you can't be hanging out in the park. The park's probably closed at a certain time. It's a whole lot of restrictions to it. when a National Guard show up. It's a lots of restrictions. And not only that, they go and get people that got warrants. They like dabble into the police department stuff, business, and they go collect up all the people that got warrants and stuff. So it's very strict when the National Guard show up. Now, Chicago and New Orleans, I remember growing up, Chicago and New Orleans was the main two cities that was either Chicago, the murder capital, or it was New Orleans, but it kept fluctuating each year. It was Chicago, then it was New Orleans, it was Chicago, then it kept going like that. I'm like, oh my gosh. And when I finally had went to Chicago, I went there, I was a little young. I think I was about 19 or 18, 19. Ooh, when I finally went to Chicago, I had to get up out of there. I was like, oh, hell no. Sheesh. God, what the? They're a little bit rougher than New Orleans. New Orleans people is rough, but the women there was like, oh no, no, that was times 100. I couldn't do that. I'm like, oh, these girls will have me, man. I would knock you crazy. So I had to get up out of there. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, we're not gonna play with. So it wasn't my kind of vibe, you know. Um, it's really gangster. Like it's I'm from New Orleans, and the women in New Orleans don't even carry on like that. Like, ooh, it's a little bit. The women are, in particular, a little bit more rougher. Like, ooh, but don't get me wrong. In New Orleans, they are too. Um, but they still ladylike in New Orleans. No offense. Anybody from Chicago hear me talking, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's rough. It's New Orleans is rough too, but it's not like, the women there still can be very feminine. All right, so moving along. I support it, you know. The few times I visited Chicago, I mean I had fun and all, but it was a lot of stuff I didn't do because I was watching my back, you know what I'm saying? Like it was some things I didn't do because I know it was a little crazy there. So I'm all for National Guards going to New Orleans and um, Chicago. I'm all for it. I think it's awesome. The people there they'll be able to live normal, you know. So that's what I think about that. Now, would we rather have the robot dogs that's weaponized or National Guards? Because that's what it be. That's the two options right there. I still happen to believe that Trump is working his way up to martial law. When martial law come in, they take over all the government facilities and they run everything. They run everything because his goal is to get out as many illegals and foreigners as possible. So he enacted some old laws, the alien law thing where, he can go scoop up 14 years of age and older, all the males of that origin of people that he may have some uh, issue with, like, for example, Venezuela. He just did a strike, by the way. It started off with them catching some type of drug boats coming from Venezuela. So they threatened, they put a bounty on the president over there. And then he like, who, me? What? He sent his guards and then they just did a strike on him. So any type of static, like hot beef, like it don't have to be war. It can be like some type of aggression. Then Trump can use that law that he just enacted. He revoked it again. Well, he enacted the law of aliens enemies law, where he can go. Those people are that origin from over there, he can go and collect all of them up from America, 14 years and older, the males in particular. All right. And he just did a strike. So there's people that should tell you something. However, this man responds, the president, that's Trump can make his move. All right. So, woo, mm, wow. Stuff get crazy because, this is not only going to affect illegal Venezuelans, but it's going to affect the legal Venezuelans. And we're talking legal ones that's 14 plus years of age and older. That means all of them would be rounded up, not just the illegal ones, and detained. So I just haven't, I don't think nobody's going to show up to be voluntarily deported. Some people might actually believe they can survive another 3 years hiding from Trump in this country. I don't know how women and children can think that. You got women and children, that's different. But maybe a single male, yeah, they may feel like they can survive. Just like the undocumented people, they work at they be working and hustling at the Home Depot. I'm surprised he ain't get rid of that. I'm surprised he ain't threaten the Home Depot and people like, then I let him hang in front of in front of the store or whatever. So um yeah. Okay, so they happened to catch a guy. The guy that they caught, he had been deported already, right? So I mean, I thought you use different names or whatever if you're gonna get caught, deported, and come back into the country, sneak back. I thought you would sneak back into the country with a whole different name. But maybe they had his picture and stuff or something like that. Well, they deported him and he ended up back in the country again and they caught him. And when they caught him and realized that they had deported him already, he was smiling. I don't know if he speak English or not, but they were like, "Oh yeah, you think we playing with you? 10 years." They sent him straight to prison for 10 years. Yeah, loads of children are still being sent across the border unaccompanied. So they're doing something about that. I think they're trying to send the children back home. Right now, it's in a legal status, battle of what to do with these kids. But they're still coming, is my point. Nobody is hearing the uh, anti immigrant, I ain't gonna say movement, but they're not hearing it. It's like they're not even paying. They're like, whatever. It's still coming. Yeah. They had a shipload of Haitians that floated over just recently. So yeah, they're not hearing it. They're like, honey, please, whatever. And they're sending them back home too. That was a blank trip though. So I mean, the people is not hearing it. The people like whatever. So the ones that's in this country already, they not even trying to leave like that. He's not having it easy to just get them up out of here. So the ones that's coming over, they're not hearing it either. They're like, whatever. I'll figure out a way. Okay. This is what's going on in the atmosphere and the news in America today, though. Okay. So Burkina Faso. Honey, you gotta hear this one right here. My gosh, Burkina Faso is one of the countries that agreed to take deported deportees from America. And, a lot of them have records. A lot of them served time already as well. So they had a lot of the ones that served their prison time here in America, and Trump is deporting them. He's sending them to African countries. And so when Burkina Faso got these loads of people that served prison time, they took them and locked them in jail in Burkina Faso. Yeah. So the wow, that's crazy, right? You deported from America after serving time and then end up in Burkina Faso prison. So Trump has nothing to do with it once he deport the illegals. Okay, he has nothing to do with it no more. And so the people trying to figure out, they're trying to make noise and make people know what's going on. That they have people that's been over there 3 months now in Burkina Faso prisons that was deported, that was deported from America to Burkina Faso. And they already served their prison time though. And so when they had received them and knowing that some of them were rapists and murderers and stuff like that, so they locked them in a prison. And they've been in there like months. Yeah, they've been in there months. I don't think it's worth it. At this point, I don't think it's worth the stay. You know what I'm saying? I probably go to Portugal somewhere else, somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But if they believe that America is the place, that's what's in their head. I don't know how they're thinking, because clearly they truly believe America is the place. But to me, there's other places around the world that you can go to. But again, I don't know, what's how they thinking about America like that. Because clearly they believe it's something here. Like maybe they believe in the American dream thing. You know what I mean? You could be poor today and rich tomorrow, like a millionaire tomorrow. Maybe it's something like that. You know what I mean? Because people be acting like there's nowhere else to go besides America. Like, hmm. I'm thinking there's Jamaica. Jamaica's not that bad. Well, Jamaicans don't want to go back to Jamaica either. Isn't that Nassau? I heard that Nassau is nice. I heard it's a very nice place. Where else? Australia. I don't know why people don't want to be going. I don't know why they don't want to go to. If they after welfare, let me tell you. I remember I knew an African guy years ago when I was young, in my 20s, and he was like, "Hey, I'm about to move to Australia." I was like, "Oh, that's what's up. I'm gonna come and visit." He was like, "Yeah." I said, "Who you know over there? What are you doing? Like, how you know people?" He was like, "Yeah, I got people over there." I was like, "Oh, that's what's up. Why you going there though? What's going on?" He was like, "Oh man, they give a lot of welfare." And he was young. He said they give a lot of welfare. They give you a house, a big old house. They give you money every month, like a lot of money, not like here. And they pay for your schooling. And he was telling me a lot. So he was like, they give you a whole bunch of stuff. He said the houses that they give him over there is huge houses. I would love to go to Australia, to be honest with you. When I see Australia on TV, I be like, it looks so nice and peaceful. I would love to go visit and see how it is or whatever. But he was there's a lot of Africans over there, by the way. hmm Lots of Africans. And He was saying they really take care of them in Australia. Yeah, I mean, that's another good option right there. I would go to Australia. Matter of fact, that's where I would go. I mean, if I was them, I would go to Australia. Because in Europe, I don't know if Australia had an issue where they walk around and like in Europe, the police, I believe the police can ask for your immigration papers on a spot. Like you got to show that you a legal citizen. You got to carry that around like an ID. I don't know if they do that in Australia. If not, I know they got a lot of illegals there. But yeah, I would like be like if they don't want you here, baby, just go to like Australia. They get welfare too and stuff. You know. Egypt is a country. Isn't Egypt doing good? I've never heard anything bad about Egypt. I'm thinking Egypt is pretty well economically, stable. But they don't want to go to Middle Eastern countries because I've seen Easterns deal with Africans and so forth who go there. Oh no, 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 mm-mm. No, they treat them like they stomping out roaches or something. No, no, not no Middle Eastern country. No. Now, I heard they were having issues in Asia with Muslims and Africans and stuff. Sound like Australia would probably be the best place for them because I haven't really heard of anything about Australia being like kicking out immigrants or anything. I haven't heard it. That's a quiet topic right there. I rarely hear people talk about Australia. I did watch a Black American man, foundational Black American man, go to Australia, and he was telling his story how he had been there over 30 years, and he said he didn't encounter any racism ever. He lived a happy, peaceful life, and he was saying because he's a news anchor over there, and because he said he believes it's because they don't have a lot of foundational Black Americans over there to have any static with the few that is over there. So that's what he was saying, that when it's large amounts of foreigners, then it may be some static and mistreatment and stuff like that. But because it's only like, very few foundational Black Americans over there, he was calling himself Black American, of course, that they don't have that static. Okay. So yeah, I mean it's other places to go. But like I said, you don't know what them people are told. Maybe they feel like that's the American dream or something. Maybe it's something clearly that they have in their mind about America. So yeah. And they're not about to let nobody take it from them. Dude, Trump words is not scaring them, honey. They're like, no, ain't nobody about to stop me from going to America. Hold on, let me take a sip of my drink. Yeah. So let me tell you something. We are moving into the future. Yes, we are, honey. We're moving into the future. Lots of people do not have jobs because of AI and robots. They're not going to put no 2-year cap on no housing with all these single mothers of different races out here. Child, please. And these daddies can't afford to take care of all these children because they got multiple families, multiple children with different women all over the place, all over the country, not just the city. Okay, so honey, please, and it's not a racial thing. When it comes to all different races, a lot of times one man may have two or more children with different women. Okay, let's be real. Why they focusing on that one woman with multiple children? Well, it's the same with the man. He may have multiple children with multiple different women all over the place. Okay, so let me get to my African talk, and then I'm gonna wrap it up after this. So, what's going on in the FBA streets? in the YouTube FBA sector. Africans are continuing to gross us out by telling us we look like them. They don't understand very well that that's gross because we don't look like you and you don't look like us. It's an insult. You know, I was on a Pan African channel some time ago and I was giving them pushback, right? I was like, no, I'm not African though. And the guy snapped the F out, man. He became truly agitated because Miss Chantell said, no, I'm not an African sweetheart. I know my roots and stuff. Me no African. And he flipped out, you know, and he was like, let me tell you something. He was talking to me like I'm his child. Let me tell you something. You are sub-Saharan African, just like me. I was like, ew. When he said that, I was like, oh no, sir. Have you seen me? Sir, no, no, I don't look like you, sir. Now I only seen a picture of him, right? And he got into it with another young lady on a platform, and she went and looked at his profile. Miss Chantel don't have a habit of looking at people's profile for some reason. I just don't be clicking on nothing. Um, but when she had got into it with him and she called him a ringatang, she said, "You look like a effing orangutan." I said, "Well, let me go check this out. Does it look like a orangutan? I mean, I know the picture ain't lovely, but let me go see what's going on." So he comes live on the screen, and I'm like, "Oh, oh, oh no, sir. No, you didn't say I look like you. No, 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 you didn't. Not me, not my kid, not my family. No, that's not true." So I'm not gonna be mean and call him a orangutan or nothing, but I'm not gonna be mean. So it wasn't lovely sight. Okay, so in their minds, they even had the guy on the panel. Oh my goodness, if I was mean, I would pull this stuff up and let y'all see what I'm saying. The guy, he was a Pan African. He moved to Africa. I mean, he didn't move to Africa. He went over there and married a a woman from a tribe. And this man is kind of sickle minded. And it was a young girl, very young girl. And man, that makes me think how, wow. I seen a story where they had a white man went over to one of them African countries and he collected up a young black man and married him. I was like, what the heck? They were talking about how they going over there marrying the young men. The white man is getting the young man. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, it's just open for, I don't like it. Sad. So anyways, yeah, those Africans know that they agitate us with that. That's how they troll us with that. You look like us. Hun, you know you don't look like us. No, you want to look like us, but you don't. You don't. I grew up, oh my goodness. I can't talk about that, but listen, in their eyes, they desire to look like us. So the skin complexion, and some of them can pass for us, some, not all, but the skin complexion or whatever, they try to fit in with us like that. They try to mirror us and make us their reflection. Like the people, it's something wrong with them, okay? Like it's something wrong with that. When people mirror me, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some creepy stuff right there. I've had female friends that mirrored me and I don't like it. Like it's like this person is copying your every move. If you say you're gonna do something, they jump up and do it before you do it. You can't tell them nothing. They're gonna try to do it before you do it. If you say you're moving or whatever, they're gonna move there before you do it. If you dressing like this, they're gonna start dressing like it's kind of scary, creepy. And that's what Africans are doing. You know what I'm saying? Now I had thought about it at the time, I was like, what's up with this person with a mirror in me? What's up with that? I don't like it. So some people how can I put it? Some people don't have a vision of themselves. They don't have a they can't see the future of themselves or have a vision for themselves. And so they mirror other people. Yeah, they will mirror you. They start dressing like you, talking like you, walking like you. They take on your whole persona, and the shit could be creepy. Okay, but they don't have a vision of themselves for themselves. They don't see a future, them futuristically. So they copy other people. And that's how Africans are. They don't have a vision for themselves. And that's why they copy us. Okay. Same thing if they go to another country, they're going to copy the people in that country because they don't have a vision for themselves. It's like it's blank, right? If I have a vision for me, I know what I would like to do. And that those are the things that I know how I want to look, how I want to be perceived in public. I know what I like to do and what I'm going to do. I set a goal for myself to do certain things to achieve yearly or monthly or whatever, and that's what I move forward to, right? But some people don't have any of that going on. Some people just, it's blank for them. You know. Let me take some tea. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know why people do that, but um, they got people that do it. And if you come to America, you want to fit in. Not all Africans mirror us, but majority of them do because they have no vision for of themselves. Okay, that's the ones that want to, the tether ones that want to look like us, walk like us, talk like us, all that old crazy stuff. They criticize us while they actually got our whole persona going on. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like they don't even realize that they're heavily tethering, aka mirroring you. Listen, they see Tyrone on YouTube going hard on Africans. All they see is Tyrone the cool though, with them locks and a medallion and whatever, and a ring on his pinky. So they go get the same kind of hat, hairstyle, medallion, pinky ring, and dress like Tyrone. And then they'll call his show and be like, you hateful. You you hate Africans. So see, that's another reason I don't entertain them on that level anymore because I realize that, there's something wrong with you, babe. There's something wrong with you there. You know what I'm saying? They had an African girl got on the screen. She was like, and we are beautiful. We look better than you. I'm like, what is that girl on? That girl's talking slow and stuff and crazy. I'm like, girl, she was decorated herself like a foundational Black American woman, with the wig things, what they call them, lace front wig, and I mean the whole get up, the makeup style, all that. But she had the nerve to go against foundational Black American women. To each his own. I cannot hold conversations anymore with these people. I mean, I just come to a point I realize what they are, who they're about, and stuff like that. They're not sensible, and the foolery they push. They come over, they don't know the history. I mean, it's a bunch of foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Miss Chantell got better things to do. I'd rather focus on something different. But when we need to call them out, we call them out. You know, and that's what Foundation of Black America has done there. And let me tell you something, it's heard because Trump is definitely getting rid of Nigerians, but the rest of them gonna follow suit too, right behind them Nigerians eventually. But Trump is getting rid of Nigerians, baby. They all over the place. He's knocking them off, just like everybody else around the country. I mean, around the world. Okay, so yeah, all they be doing when they hop on these panels, somebody we look alike or whatever, they are mirroring us because they have no visions of themselves. Okay, they're mirrored. They don't want to look African when they come here because nobody wants to be African. Shit, I feel bad for those people going who they send to Africa when they deport them. Oh my god, I know them people be scared. Sheesh. And then they locked them up. Some of them got locked up there as soon as they got off the flight. I'm like, oh my gosh, with no kind of legal representation or anything. They just locked them up. So yeah, again, they just see themselves as looking like us. In their eyes, they want to be us and they want to look like us. So, that's all it is. They see themselves as looking like us. Okay. And that stuff goes to show you they got people out here in this world that you really can't entertain. Some of them be having little issues there, you know. Now we still got some what they call these people? Somebody how can I put it? We still have cosplaying FBAs. Or should I say some of these tethers that's still playing cosplaying FBAs. Yeah, that makes sense. Out here hosting panels still insinuating that FBA people want smoke and violence. You know what that's about? They're trying to make us out to be a hate group, y'all. That's why they log on to the panels and they'll be talking about, yeah, I'm FBA. Yeah, we want that smoke. I'd be like, oh my goodness gracious. So sad. Yeah, because we ready and this and that. Hold on, I got a call. Yeah, yeah, because FBA ain't to be playing with. We want that smoke. And what? Wait, listen, FBA ain't even talking to no white people about no white people and all that right now. FBA is strictly pushing delineation in a community right now. We ain't talking about no white people. So why is you bringing up white people and skinheads and all that? Because we know you're a cosplaying FBA person that's getting online trying to make it seem like FBA Foundation of Black Americans are instigating any type of hatred and war, trying to make us out to be a hate group. That's what I told you. I told you a long time ago they're dangerous people. They can cause trouble for our community. That causes that's why anybody, but we can put them out, we can put their smoke out. Anybody that's talking any kind of war and smoke and strife, blow the smoke out. Don't come over here with that. Don't come over here with that. We ain't insinuate no kind of smoke and no kind of war, no kind of fighting. We strictly delineating. Period. If you feel like delineation equals hatred, that's your business. But don't come over here acting like we is, trying to act like we on some war stuff or violence. Shut them down. Just like when they come with that gender baiting and stuff, they ain't nothing but them tethers. Don't come over here with that. Mm-mm, mm-mm. No, you're not, sweetheart. And then they got the ones that's sympathizers. I didn't get to hear what my son was saying when I asked him about um people, the FBA fund, some of the FBA Foundation of Black Americans that feel like we need in order for us to delineate, we need to have allyship with other Black immigrants. I'm like, that ain't making no sense. I'm not understanding or following it. But listen, my son started talking some stuff about, well, that's first tier segregation. I'm like, what? I had to cut him off. I'm like, sweetheart, move along. Go ahead, move along, sweetheart. I don't know what you're talking about, but I didn't get the chance to ask him what he meant by that. Okay. As soon as you say segregation, I'm like, nah, nah, first tier. Sound like something like he's saying we want to be first tier. We want to be the first blacks, and then something like that, or maybe something like that. I'm not sure, but listen, I was like, no, you're not. Hold up, young people, you got to talk to them and talk it out. Because we still have sympathizers in our community. You understand what I'm saying? When I say sympathizers, I'm talking there's still some that's like, oh, but we need other Black people too. We need them. But why are they deporting only all the Blacks? This America. You don't know the history. Oh, well, we need them. We probably should fight for them to stay. But they're disrespecting us to the fullest. You don't know the atmosphere. You don't know what's going on. Well, I know that they got their own societies, but we need them. But they don't like us, sweetheart. Oh, that's not true. All of them don't like us. I mean, that's not all of them. So we still got some sympathizers out there and people that's emotionally attached to the you know, other people that we're delineating from. Okay. So that's what we're dealing with among us. I think that's pretty yeah, we definitely gotta make sure they don't insinuate violence when speaking about foundational Black Americans delineating. We gotta make sure we speak up and be like, look, don't bring no violence to this talk because we're not violent. We're not about violence. Delineation does not equal violence. Trying to make it, that's them trying to push the Black foundational Black Americans, the hate group. Boy, they be pulling one for real. So Nigerians are being protested against all around the world. All around the world. I don't think they quite understand what boycott is. Boycott is a form of protest against them as well in America. When we say we're boycotting you, is we're not with you. Okay? Like the other Africans and Europeans over there now that's kicking them out. We're all basically saying we don't with you. Okay? And this has not been only happening in America where we hear them jumping up in people's face about all Nigerians are doctors. All your Black Nigerians are doctors. All of you When they was talking about that DEI, that's who they was talking about, by the way. All your black doctors are Nigerians. All of your lawyers are Nigerians. All of the black engineers in America, they're Nigerians. With lies, lies upon lies. All of your nurses are Nigerians. The fake ones. All of your, scholars and teachers are Nigerians. I'm like, oh my gosh. Do you know they don't only do that in America? They go and do that in Europe to the Europeans. They go and do that to different country people in Africa. You end up over there in Africa saying, you say that you are doctors and all of you are lawyers and princess. Well, you take your lawyer, princess, and engineering degrees and go build your country. I mean, them people really don't like. They say that they brought so much trouble to their countries. Extreme prostitution, a bunch of money rituals, which is them kidnapping people, killing them, and selling their organs. That's what that is. And they say they brought all that to their countries, and they want them out. The crime has went up. So um, yeah, it's not just America where they be saying the doctors is all Nigerians, which is not true. That's not true. Even they were saying that all of the blacks in tech is Nigerians. Oh gosh. So the Nigerian president said he's not taking back Nigerians. He claimed he's not doing it because they're criminals and he's not taking them back. But I don't think that's the reason. That's his way of helping his people stay where they are. Okay. But they'll end up in another country in Africa. Okay. So Black Americans, I mean, when not Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, we don't need to argue with such people. We really don't, because there's a saying in New Orleans. We go like this and we say, boot up or shut up. Meaning there ain't no fussing going on. You either gonna scrap or you gonna shut up. Ain't no fussing. Listen, concerning Nigerians, all they have to do is list. If they want to compete with us, just hey, list your inventions, people from Nigeria that invented things, established things, created things, founded something. What have they contributed to the world? What have they contributed to the world? They say they got so many Nigerians with degrees, but over in Africa, but they're not in Africa, but I'm saying they don't have they have degrees, but they don't have any any knowledge on how to use the degrees, how to take what they learn and manifest something with it. Yeah, there's a video going around, like it's not a cartoon, but it's a form of animation, and it makes a joke of Nigerians having all these degrees and stuff, and when they go back to Africa, they all just they don't know what to do. They don't know how to build or fix anything, even though they all got a bunch of degrees. That's the cartoon. Somebody made a cartoon? I was like, oh my. So it's a cartoon of them, like, it's not a cartoon, but it's like animation of them all having degrees, but not being able to fix anything. Okay. And no, they're not the most black doctors and lawyers and all of those stuff. So I did my talk tonight. I think I'm gonna go live again tomorrow earlier in the day. I'll go live a little bit more earlier. Um, I had to look all good today, baby. I had one of them dress up days. Miss Chantel still got it, baby. Still turn them heads, all different races. Okay. Hey. So I think I'm gonna be going live a little more earlier because I know a lot of people sleep right now. Okay, because I've become sleepy myself. So let me wrap it up right here. And before I wrap it up, I'm gonna say this again. We are in a new time. We, foundational Black Americans, are in a new time. Well, let me put this over. We're in a new time and era, and we cannot think as our ancestors did of the old days. Okay, we can't think like they did. We're in a futuristic time, a robotic time, computerized time. And so we have to start thinking differently about our community, right? Because that's what it's all about. Our communities, us communicating with one another, which is a form of community. We got to start building our community. It don't take $1 million to build community. What it takes is us congregating with each other, doing positive things in our communities. You see what I'm saying? It don't take millions of dollars. Just us looking out for each other in the community, congregating. You know, somebody start a little program that, like we have programs, a lot of them out there already. We don't have enough. They have a lot of braiding companies that's run by foundational Black American women. Please do get the word out. And these foundational Black American women teach our young girls how to braid hair. Oh, they out there. They all over YouTube. Okay. And support them when you do find them. They teach our young girls how to braid hair and other things. That's wonderful to teach our daughters to know how to do their own hair, by the way, and other people hair. And we have different ones out there that's doing things, but we need more, of course, in order to get us congregating and talking with each other again and communicating with each other as foundational Black Americans. All right. That's how we get to talking and communicating. We gotta start our little meetup groups or volunteer groups in the community. FBA strong. We are gonna be hitting the streets pretty soon. And this foundational Black American, um, we're gonna come back together again as a people should be. That's what I'm saying. But we have to start communicating better in our communities, starting little groups here and there to befriend one another and support one another. Oh, it's a good example, like on The Shy, the TV show that's called The Shy. So in the TV show called The Shy, on a TV show called The Shy, um, I like it. It's a great example of what I'm talking about when I say getting out there and starting. It's a great example if you watch that show. Okay, what I'm saying is like that, right? In the show, they have a bunch of guys that get together that's from the neighborhood that, like Keisha boyfriend, Monique boyfriend, him. And, they all kind of know each other and they come together to have a safe space for Black men to discuss things happening in their communities and lives, which is awesome. The women also have that kind of group. See, that's what I'm talking about. I just realized that that's what I'm talking about. Stuff like that. That is what we need to be doing, foundational Black Americans in our communities. We need among each other. We need, no, not with other people, just foundational, no offense, just foundational Black Americans, because we're finding ways to come back as a community of one. You understand what I'm saying? So without infiltration. So we may have supporters that's non-foundational Black American. That's wonderful, and thank you for your support. But at the moment, when you're delineating and trying to get your community together, you can't afford to bring in other people at the moment. So yeah, we should start those little groups. And if anybody start a group under the name Foundational Black American and you find out that the people in that group is not Foundational Black American, you know what to do. Just dismiss it. Period. Okay. But that's what we ought to be doing, like the TV show The Stride. They had the men hooked up, they linked up and started a group where they know each other and they support each other. And that's what's up because they need each other. So they were able to support each other because they come together in meeting and talking stuff a lot. All right. And do things. And so same thing with the women in the show. Same thing with the young people in the show. Okay. So that's exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Exactly what we're supposed to be doing, organizing ourselves together to be supportive to one another. Okay. All right. No more talk. Let me stop. That belongs to Willie D. That's not my tag. I'm not about to steal that man. No more talk. He'll be like, what? Now, family, somebody told me there's somebody out there trying to steal my tag when I say no more talk. No, no, I ain't doing that. Listen, my tag is thank you for tuning in with Miss Chantell. I had a lovely time talking to you guys. I would have read y'all comments tonight, but I don't see nobody in my chat tonight. Okay. Um, but I would have read y'all comments out. Last time I um did a live stream, I wasn't able to read comments because I was zoned in my zone, talking it out. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close out tonight. And thank you for tuning in to my listeners. You guys can go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. And thank you for tuning in again. Have a good night.